Hey there, art adventurers! Welcome back to our creative corner. Today we'll be diving into a world of watercolor to paint an enchanting night sky that meets a meadow full of beautiful flowers. Don't worry if you're new to this, we'll be taking every step together. So grab your art supplies and let's get started. You can find the list of materials in the description box below. Let's start painting the sky with a wet on wet technique to create a dreamy pastel night sky. Begin by making the background wet and start with the first color, rose quartz, followed by rose. Next, let's add a little bit of royal blue into this color to create a light violet shade, and on the upper parts we'll be using ultramarine blue. Now let's blend these serene shades together. To make our night sky even more magical, let's create a seamless gradation starting from the upper part of the sky to the lower part. Add a bit of sepia to blue to create a dark blue color on the upper sides. Let's transition to the meadow. Choose 3 greens from your palette. I'm using a sap green for the first layer. Here also will be using wet on wet technique. Next color I'm using is green, which is a darker shade of green from the white night set. Use the tip of the brush to pull gentle, delicate strokes. Next, we'll mix a bit of sepia into the green to create a darker green shade and repeat the same steps. Use the tip of your brush to add gentle strokes. Make sure the layers behind are still visible. Let's keep the part of the meadow closer to the horizon line lighter and the part that is closer to us a little more darker. We'll be adding more details on the part that is closer to us, and this will give us the lush foundation of our enchanted scene. I'm using a 300 GSM cold pressed 100% cotton paper, so this allows the wet on wet technique to come out really well. Now let's paint the horizon line and let's add some background trees. The background sky is not completely dry, so when we add paint, the colors will bloom into the background, creating the feel of distant trees. I'm using green shadows, which is another dark shade of green from white night. It's a granulating color. I'm using the tip of the brush to add little circles on the horizon line, and that bleeds beautifully into the background. Next, I'm adding a bit of sepia, which is a dark shade of brown on the horizon line, and push them a little bit upward into the bushes. Continue to add details with the same color on the meadows. Use the tip of your brush to add short strokes. Using the same mix of sepia and green, I'm pulling short strokes upwards on the meadows to draw the grass. I'm using the tip of the brush to paint this step. The tip of this brush, which is from White Nights, has a really fine pointed tip, so you don't have to use a thinner brush for this step. Just use the tip of the brush to pull upward strokes. You can use the thinnest brush that you're having with you for this step. Using white gouache, delicately craft a moon that casts its shadow gently upon the scene. Now it's time to sprinkle our paper with stardust. I'm using a white Posca marker to add dots for the stars. You can also use white gouache or white poster colors for this step. You can make some of them big and some of them small. And now it's time to add the final touches. What is a meadow without flowers? Choose your favorite flower hues like reds, pinks, purples or yellows to make these blooms come to life. I'm choosing a yellow color, the bright sunny yellow, to paint flowers on the meadows. Feel free to scatter them across the meadow as your heart desires. Let's add some more grass for the final touches. So I'm using a size 0 brush from Princeton, using the same dark color that we had used earlier for the grass to pull a few short strokes. And here is your own enchanting watercolor night sky with meadow scene. Your creativity knows no bounds. Remember, art is your personal expression, and as you continue to explore, you'll uncover your own unique style. If you enjoyed this artistic adventure, remember to like, subscribe, and share your dazzling creations with me on my Instagram page, Jacinta_art. Until our next chapter of creativity, stay inspired and keep shining like the stars. Here are a few videos that you might like to watch next.